Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Weekend Big Show powered by Law Dog Sports. I am Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog, here with you on a Friday, day before or day of, for some, of the college football championship weekend, conference championship weekend, that is, as it has been a lot of chaos and a lot of belly aching and a lot of gnashing of teeth all over the land. And it starts down in the tip of the Florida Peninsula and works its way all the way out through Austin. And then the Weeping Tour is nationwide. Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airwaves, joining me here. We're streaming to you live on Facebook, Twitter, X, and YouTube at Law Dog Sports. Join us for your commentary. We appreciate you commenting anytime you feel. Jeremy, this week has been so much agony and fun and disdain, all kind of wrapped in one. First off, agony, because there's just an inkling of me, that still smarts when some big fat head, with 4 neck rolls gets on there and says Oklahoma's resume isn't good enough to get into the playoff.
Right. The same people that said if Oklahoma goes 9-3 with that schedule, they'll probably get in.
Yeah.
But 10-2 and you run the gauntlet and it's like, the resume just doesn't stack up against Notre Dame's.
Then and kudos to Jim Nagy for throwing out yesterday that BV should be considered one of the SEC coaches of the year.
Well, that was national. The Walter Camp Foundation named 2 Big Ten coaches and Clark Lee from Vanderbilt, who's deserving.
That's great. Yeah, you're bad.
But to not have BV listed in there is just an absolute travesty.
Well, Joey McGuire not named the Big 12. I think it's the Chuck Ninus Award. I saw they gave it to Kalani Sitake, which, hey, BYU's had a great season, but McGuire beat them by double digits.
The Chuck Ninus Award brought to you by Crumble Cookies.
Marty Moyer checking in from Clinton Liquor. Hello, Marty.
Sitake he is deserving. That's a heck of a job up there at BYU.
BYU's an amazing program.
It is.
We'll get into more of that lately, but I gotta say, or later, but also just this weeping and gnashing of teeth between, the thought that BYU could get in without a win against Texas Tech because we're told that conference championship games don't hurt you.
Sure.
But then,
Alabama could drop out if they lose to Georgia.
Alabama have a 3-loss team in there, I don't know. I mean, Miami, Notre Dame, it's just, this is what it's come to. And we'll talk more about, our comparison to the old system and things like that. But I kind of tweeted at a guy who our friend John Moore, who's a Texas Rangers, podcaster, also does a Texas college football. We might as well just call it the Texas Longhorn College Football Podcast. But he's a big Texas homer now since he's got a kid on campus down there, and we love John. But he had I was on his show one time, and younger guy that does a Twitter page called Ghost of Texas Football. Really a lot of followers, and really some sane commentary, But I did kind of take him to task yesterday because he shared a quote about Steve Sarkisian calling for guardrails. And you can't use the phrase guardrails and not hearken Lincoln Riley in my mind.
Sure.
And it's always some coach with an exorbitant budget of to spend on players.
45-35 neutral field, Chris.
That has to get up there and stump for his team and then has to throw out guardrails. And, Lincoln kind of did it in the context, I guess, of recruiting, which now he's turned it around and found the money to bring in the number 1 recruiting class, what they're saying. But, with Sarkisian, you just need to sit and look in the mirror and realize you had a very helter-skelter bipolar team. You played lights out in Dallas and in Austin. Everywhere else, you were totally mid. Totally.
Overtime against Mississippi State and Kentucky. What were their records, Chuck? Are they going to bowl games?
No,
they're not. They are not going to bowl games. They lost to a bad Florida team. I mean, not lost. They were
That should have been
beaten
worse.
pretty handily.
That 29-20 is deceptive because they got a score
They got to score
late,
late.
and
Yeah.
then Sunbelt Billy dang near gave away the farm. If he would have just ran the ball, they probably would have won by more than that score.
Yeah, they lost by 2 scores to a what did they end up 4-8? Was it
Yeah.
4-8 because they beat Florida State?
Yeah, they shellacked Florida State.
And that's a horrible loss for Alabama, but it's the first game of the season. Alabama did improve dramatically. after
Alabama
that.
went into Athens and did what Texas had no shot at doing.
Yeah, you know,
You're saying that.
you're gonna bring up the Crimson Tide. Well, yeah, they went into Athens and had their way with Georgia.
But I mean,
They beat the crap out of Tennessee.
yeah. And some of this we covered on the college football recap show last Saturday night, which, by the way, as soon as we got off the air, I got that tickle in the back of my throat, and I've been fighting junk ever since. I don't know. Felt great all day Saturday, and then we got off the air Saturday night. It's like, oh. But anyways, so he was already stumping pretty hard after their win against Texas A&M. That was probably about 6:30 our time. And then, and then it's just continued. And now you've got, and I have, to his credit, I haven't heard Chris Del Conte say anything about it, but the fan base and the coach are basically saying, well, we shouldn't have played Ohio State.
Yeah, get out of here with that.
You know what? You played Ohio State the year you won it in 05, and Vince Young went up there and got the job done. And so, just
it doesn't look a win against Kent State, and you still have that ugly loss to Florida.
mm-hmm.
You're still not getting into the conference championship game. So I don't know what they think they're trying to prove with that. Everyone plays their schedule. Whether you play a good Power 4 team or you play a Group of 5 team, you got to win every game on your schedule. You knew going into that game it was going to be tough, and it could have implications later in the season.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a data point that counts against them. They lost by a touchdown on the road to the number 1 team in the country, first game of the season. Hey, it happens. It's a competitive game. It's a quality loss. The what's the commissioner head's name? Arkansas's AD.
Yurachek.
Yeah, Mike Yurachek.
Hunter
Yurachek. Sorry.
Never trust a middle-aged guy named Hunter.
That's weird. Yeah, his parents must have been hipsters before.
They were ahead of the curve, that's for sure.
So he flat out said, no, the loss to Florida is what's keeping them out.
Yeah.
Just eat it, guys. You're not getting in this year. I'm sorry. It sucks to suck, but you lost 3 ball games.
Your 2 of your 3 best wins were in your home confines, where you're definitely a different team other than against UTEP. You've seen us struggle against UTEP. And then on a neutral field in a rivalry game where it's 50-50.
Right. It's just it's ridiculous. And the argument that Clemson had 3 losses.
Yeah.
They were a 10-2 conference champ. They lost their 3rd game to Texas in the playoff.
Yeah.
I think we should be more concerned about the AQ being awarded to the ACC when you could have a 7-5 Duke team get in.
Now, from what I understand, everything I've heard, unless something's changed, is that if Duke wins over Virginia, that AQ goes away for the ACC, and then that would probably leave Miami out. And wouldn't that, in essence, put? I mean, there's brackets I see with North Texas in it.
You could have another Group of 5 school. You could have Miami in there.
Yeah, and I'll say this: Miami has a beef. Now they played a butt schedule.
They played an awful schedule. They lost to Louisville, who kind of fell apart at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Who was their other loss to?
Louisville's other loss, or their other loss, was at SMU.
And SMU had a good team.
They lost to Baylor at home.
Yeah, I mean they were hot in the middle of the season.
Yeah, and I don't envy a committee's job, because even if you do your best and you know what you're doing and you're the most earnest committee person in the world, you're always going to have detractors.
And if you're a good ACC team, what does that even mean anymore?
I mean,
Because you got a 7-5 team playing for the conference
well,
championship.
yeah, I mean, they're clearly they would be the toughest ACC team to face, right?
Yeah, but they're
I
not in
mean,
the they're not even in they couldn't even make the championship game.
that's what I was going to say is like your best qualifier doesn't make your championship game. I mean, I don't know.
Imagine if that Virginia Duke was played on a basketball court.
Oh
That'd
yeah,
probably be a heck of a game.
yeah. Well, depends on what Tony Bennett is. Tony Bennett still the coach there?
I don't know.
He might stall. Marty Wandry says, if a loss in a conference championship is not supposed to hurt you, does beating a team a second time for a conference championship jump you past a team that beat you, Alabama, Oklahoma? Well, Marty, I hate to tell you, in this case, it would.
It would.
Yeah, I mean, it would. Oklahoma would totally be passed over by the SEC champion.
And this notion that conference championship games don't hurt you, then why even play the dang things? Just get rid of them.
I mean, the argument in the past is that they were national, qualifier. They were what?
National semifinals. Or quarterfinals.
Yeah, quarterfinals. No, they're not. Maybe
it's just another opportunity to get a bunch of guys hurt. Alabama's sitting a bunch of guys that could probably go if it was a playoff game.
Yeah. I think 8 would have been a lot better than 12.
Same.
I think 8 you could have told, 12 and 13 go get bent. You don't have any case.
Get rid of the conference championship game weekend, start the playoff next weekend, and go.
And
get this thing wrapped up by Christmas.
Yeah. So just, on that tick, like I said, the whole thing with the Sarkisian and granted, I don't remember Bob Stoops ever. I mean, Bob Stoops would tell you what he believed if you asked him. Yes. I don't remember him ever getting on there and pleading and belly aching a la Mac Brown, a la Steve Sarkisian. I mean,
I remember the year they beat Tech. And he made the comment that, I think we should be a playoff team. We'll see what they do, but we had that second loss. And it was realistic.
Yeah. And that was dealing with a 3-way tie in a division for the championship of the division.
That's why Bob was so great, because he was pragmatic.
Yeah, exactly. You set up the rules this way, I'll go by them and live with them. And you don't get that out of the head coach in Austin at all.
And I doubt you ever will, because man, there's a lot of pressure down there.
I mean, it's but you think about it, Jeremy, it's kind of become the mecca of mediocrity again. I mean, they had a run there where they had 2 teams that really, I mean, I'll give them credit. How they lost to Washington in that first playoff appearance. What?
Nothing. What? Just if pressure creates diamonds, it can also create relapses. So we could have some great calls on the local call-in show from head coach
Darth again. Yeah, kudos to him. And that's another thing I'll throw out there. I'll finish my point first. But I mean, that was the thing about we used to call Texas University the mecca of mediocrity, and they always have a tendency to want to kind of fall back into that. I mean, you can't tell me that team with the talent they have was focused completely on football throughout their season. You don't get down 17 in the fourth quarter to Mississippi State. I don't care if it's on the road. If you're truly a playoff team, or if you're truly a team that you believe can go out and beat anybody.
Or at Kentucky when they fired their coach after the season.
And Kentucky had them if they don't call the same stupid play 2 times in a row.
I know.
I mean,
State should have beat them.
But we don't deal in ifs. There's a lot, and I think it was who was it on Twitter muted the word if. And he put a screenshot out, said this should take care of not having to listen to any Texas fans. The word if, but no. And so I just look at it and I think, teams that deserve to be in, I mean, they're 10-2, but Notre Dame, their best win is is USC.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were 0-2 to start the season. One of those games was at home. And I think Texas A&M is a little bit shaky as a one loss
Texas
team.
A&M is. I'm not going to say they are fraudulent, but they could be fraudulent because if you look at their schedule, there's a dividing line right there, about 8 in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
All their wins are below that line.
Oh,
their
yeah.
loss is above that line.
Didn't they play four? Didn't they have 3 or 4 conference wins with teams that already fired their coaches?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, Texas A&M's got a good team. Don't get me wrong. I think Marcel Reed is dynamite.
How
And
they lost
they
that
played
game, I don't know, but
they played their schedule just like Oklahoma played their schedule. They navigated it. They had the loss to Texas. You know, they did what they were supposed to do. No rip on them.
Well, and I mean, honestly, you know, sadly for OU, the Tennessee win doesn't look that great after Vandy went in there and pummeled them on their home field. I mean, Josh Heupel's team, they trended downwards probably since that OU loss.
And you see that a lot. You didn't really see it with Ole Miss because they just kept it rolling. But teams that play Oklahoma that next couple of weeks, they're affected by it negatively. Yeah. Violence and physicality.
You're probably smarting a little bit. And like you said, Ole Miss, they seem to have the remedy to deal with what OU brought. And then also, you know, we're fortunate. The Satania fumble was fortunate for them. I think OU would love to have that game again.
Oh yeah,
you know, and whether or not Lane was there or not, but
I mean, you're sitting home on the weekend of the 19th and the 20th if you win that ball game.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and you know, that's another thing. I saw somebody put out that that's graduation weekend.
Yeah,
if there's a home playoff game, good luck getting a hotel.
Well,
luckily, UConn's not far away.
Yeah, you think
the big picture.
UConn and the great, there's
Edmond,
slots.
Carefree Edmond.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, I would think. Okay, tell me this: if you have a child that's graduating or a family member that's graduating from OU, do you stay in Norman or do you book downtown?
At the
the Omni or any of that stuff?
What's the Skirvin? Is that still there?
I'm pretty sure. You live closer than I do.
I don't know how they're gonna. I don't know how they're gonna work it out. I'm
things to think about.
Who puts a mid-year graduate? Look at the college football calendar, and because that's what drives the bus.
Yeah,
because a lot of those dollars from football they are funneled into the university, to the education programs in the university. Yeah, just maybe look at a calendar and say, hey, if there's a playoff game this weekend, we cannot do graduation, and it's a mid-year graduation.
I just think the administration and that trans professor just hate football because they liken it to religion, and
that's right. Well, when you're
trans professor,
when your head coach is dropping fire Bible quotes in the middle of a pregame speech, hey,
amen,
all right, amen, love it. The narrow gate.
We'll see who drives your Adam's apple boat.
That's right.
But anyway, so Rand Lindsay checking in, saying good morning. Hello, Rand. Good morning to you as well. And so this week has been so chock full of such great stuff between the committee release and then the Lane Kiffin drama. And I swear, when he showed up, when he was in that interview with Marty Smith out by the airport gate, and kudos to the Ole Miss fans for flogging him out there. That was one of the best videos I've ever seen.
That's great.
That's almost as good as the people who heckled Gene Chizik at Auburn when he got off the plane to become the coach.
Right.
But the Lane train
gets fired.
Yeah, the Lane train heads for LSU, and apparently he could still financially benefit from some Ole Miss performance initiatives, I guess, in the playoffs. Get
out of that.
Pete Golding takes over as the head coach, and you just have to think what do they get out of that team? Because a lot of the players maybe rally around the fact that they're pissed that their coach left.
I know. I guess Charlie Weiss Jr. was allowed to come back to call plays.
See, and I don't get that because they were cussing him too.
I'm not a huge fan of that because, hey, after this, you could hit the portal and come down to LSU with
Oh,
me,
it's
and
totally going on. But the
you
thing
have
is,
some shenanigans going on.
Jeremy, and this is what harkens back to the Tebow days. That tampering was going on before there was ever even speculation
Oh, you
publicly.
know it.
Hey, if
Mhm.
we're if we were somewhere else next year, would you want to come? And I guess LSU lost some players, they lost some commits, but they got some, so it kind of balanced it out. I don't know, but uh,
Nothing like the absolute crap show up there at College Station, Pennsylvania.
wow,
Or I'm sorry,
man,
College
I
Park.
can't lambast our Aggie faithful like that. Like
College Park, Pennsylvania. That's it, right?
Sandusky Heights, is that what that is up there?
Yesterday I made the comment to a buddy. I'm like, I wonder if they could get Sandusky on a work release to coach a team.
Get the defense going. Well, the latest is they're targeting Matt Campbell, which that
Yes,
would go
Ron
to the
Howard's little brother.
that would be he does look like Clint, doesn't he? That would be a knockdown in your status of yourself to know that you were about their 8th selection.
Yeah, and uh, I don't like Matt Campbell. I think he's a D-bag, but he's a heck of a coach. I
He's
mean,
he's done good things.
he does 8-4 at Iowa State like no one has ever been able to. And I think
Didn't
out
they
of
win
the
10 games last season?
nah, maybe. Yeah, they did win 10 games, but he regressed to the mean,
Yeah,
the 8-4.
yeah.
And it's time for him to get out. I just think that Penn State is such a dumpster fire that it's going to take him time. And I don't think those idiots up there have the patience.
I tell you,
I mean, they gutted the program
you talk about screwing the pooch. I mean,
so
they
bad.
I mean, and Franklin's pulled half the recruiting class to Blacksburg with him.
They dropped from a top 10 class to 150 on signing day. 150. They have
Uh,
2 kids that signed with them.
yeah. And that was another thing that happened this week that we could get into is National Signing Day, which it's. I mean, I will be in agreement with some of the coaches that complain and bellyache a lot. Is there needs to be some pretty significant adjustments to the college football calendar.
Yeah, it's just how do you do that?
Well, you
And
just set the dates.
well, I know you move it up. Okay, yeah.
I mean,
Who wants to play a home game in Norman, Oklahoma, or uh let's see where else is oh God, Baton Rouge
mhm.
on August 17th.
No.
People will die.
Yeah,
It's
that's a
awful.
death
It
knell.
is terrible.
That's
You have to get rid of conference championship weekend
you
to
do.
make the calendar work. You
Yeah.
have to because it doesn't mean anything. I mean, what are you going to do? You may move up a spot. You may move down a spot. Hell, nothing may happen with the rankings.
Well, so go ahead.
What's the point of conference championship weekend if it doesn't mean anything as far as the standings for playoff seeding go?
But here's the thing: if that's the case, you got to jump on this 4-4-2-2-1-1 or whatever it is. I mean, you've got to go to one of those. You either go with the model that the Big Ten commissioners for, or go with the one. I mean, what's the other one, like 5-5? I mean,
It seems like the Big Ten commission is usually a pretty smart guy.
it,
The Big 12 didn't want to create a network, so that commissioner left, went to the Big Ten, created a network, and a financial windfall for the teams in his
sure.
conference. Maybe we should listen. They only let
Well,
teams in the Big Ten that are,
but that's what I'm saying. I
academically
mean,
good.
give the major conferences automatic qualifiers by standing.
Sure.
You knock that out completely.
Yes.
And then, like you said, you could do away with these ridiculous conference championships. Think about conference championship in 08. DeMarco Murray doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, I know.
Think about conference championship in 2013. No, when was it? Well, that's the only conference. The only conference championship OU lost was 03, and that really
2013 was
I just threw 2013 out by mistake.
Wasn't that OU Nebraska when OU was down 17-0 and came back?
That was 2010.
Okay, it was 2010.
Yeah, Landry Jones mounted the 17-point comeback in that one. But no, I mean, just think of any of the teams.
2003.
Yeah.
2003 is what you want.
Well, look back at, and I know we're going back and cherry picking, but Texas in 01 loses to Colorado, probably plays for a national title if they win that game.
Yeah, Chrissy Sims doesn't break his delicate fingers, and Major Applewhite just ran out of time.
Well, they're
that whole
Chris Brown was
Longhorn
barreling over them like a bison. I mean,
that whole Longhorn team was mismanaged from jump when they brought Chris Sims in and benched Applewhite.
Yeah, it was. And then I see Chance Mock every once in a while popping off on Twitter. It's like, dude, didn't he actually start the game in 03 that was the humongous blowout? And then
yes, didn't he throw a couple picks and get sat down and then
but no, I mean, so conference championship games, we'll think about some of the Georgia teams that lost the Georgia team that lost the conference championship when Jalen Hurts, I guess it was 2018, came in for an injured Tua Tagovailoa, and and I think
no one's ever said that before.
An
injured Tua Tagovailoa.
But no, I mean, there have been some highlights. There have been some teams that escalated their season by pulling off a conference championship win, but those teams would be in, and then they would be able to escalate their season in a playoff.
Heck, in 2000, though, you had to play a really good Kansas State team, and
beat
almost lost that. Yeah, I had to beat a really good Kansas State team twice that year. It doesn't make sense if you want to change the calendar to keep shoving these conferences. I know they make money for the conferences.
Expanded playoff would make money too.
Expand the play, or you don't need to expand the playoff. Just move the calendar up a couple weeks or a week.
Yeah.
Get rid of conference championship weekend. Start this thing we could start it as early as this coming Thursday. Have your playoff, your first round, Thursday, Friday. There's 4 games. You could give them each one night. Or play 2 Friday, 2 Saturday, or whatever you want to
do. Conference championship games tonight. Conference USA, Kennesaw State against Jacksonville State. The Sun Belt, Troy versus James Madison. And the Mountain West, UNLV versus Boise State. And then also in the AAC, North Texas and future OSU coach Eric Morris, his Mean Green, takes on the Green Wave of Tulane. Did you see where Sun Belt Billy returns home?
James Madison.
Yeah,
back to the belt.
He may turn, he may do something with him. I mean, you can't say he didn't bring talent to games.
Oh, and not only did he bring talent, he brought guys that wanted to be at Florida, which, that's it. Man, that's saying something about a coach when you can bring guys in that they're not there for him. They're there because they want to be at Florida.
Sure.
That roster retention is everything in college. And if you got guys that want to be there, I mean, who was it? Summerall? Yeah, Summerall's a coach down there. So that's right. Was it John Summerall?
Yeah, John Summerall from Tulane.
So he's not going to have a bare cupboard to work with like some of these other guys are going to have when they
no. In Florida, and really ever since Urban left, Florida's been one of those teams that's just like, they just if they just got the right guy, you can't tell me they can't pick up and get rolling again.
Loaded with talent, man. That defense was very good.
And I don't know the ins and outs of their NIL budget or programs and things like that, but it's a name brand.
It's an SEC team in the state of Florida. They've got money.
2 natties in this century. So
the SEC team in the state of Florida, but they've had all their success under 2 coaches, much like Texas. Anywho,
but no, I mean, so conference championship weekend, the group of 5 stuff tonight. I mean, I guess if Troy were able to pull off the upset, which James Madison is a 23.5 point favorite in a conference championship game.
That's insane.
It is. Jacksonville State or Kennesaw State, a 2.5 point favorite over Jacksonville. The Dan Mullen Bowl, his running Rebs are 5.5 point dogs to Boise, and then North Texas is a 2.5-point dog to Tulane. I think Tulane probably takes care of that one. I love North Texas. I love the story. I think they're a great team, but I think Tulane's got some talent that they could probably put out there that will give North Texas problems.
Oh, Tulane's constructed like a P4 team. They've got they're decently deep, which is the toughest thing to do at a G5 school.
Yep.
They're in Louisiana. There's a ton of talent in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I mean, they're like a mini mountain. They're like a mini Southeastern Conference team, really.
Well, they are one of the original Southeastern Conference teams. Cameron Hall checking in. It's a new day. Get rid of the conference championship games. Yeah, 7-5 Duke has no business playing for a conference championship. That's crazy that you have a team sitting right there at the 12 spot, right on the outside of the playoff, looking in, and they're not even in the conference championship of not a good at all ACC.
Yeah, ACC is total ass this year. I mean, and I say that begrudgingly because I will root for SMU. And I thought, okay, they upset Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go to Cal last week and just lay a complete egg. I mean, teams from the East Coast did not fare that. I'd be interested to see the total record, but it seems like Stanford and Cal kind of held their own.
You want to say maybe the conference is just really strong and really deep, and then you watch them play out of conference, and you know that ain't it.
No.
So I don't know. I thought it was top heavy, but they're just not very good. Hey,
FDR.
The Bishop is in.
Hard to kill weekend.
Let's go. Hey, hard to kill week off. It's nice.
That's right.
Saturday morning, sleep in. No tailgating, just relaxation. Watch some other teams beat the crap out of each other.
All right, so let's look at some conference championship games for tomorrow. But first, we want to remind you that CCW Safe is our primary sponsor for this program. They provide legal self-defense coverage with plans starting as low as $19 a month. Use the link in the scroll and also in the description of this broadcast. If you are someone who chooses to exercise your Second Amendment rights and defend your family and find yourself in a self-defense incident, you're going to want to have the backing of CCW Safe. They offer self-defense support with deep expertise, personal care, and self-defense coverage that goes beyond the basics. And as I always say, Soup Campbell and Mike Dart are two of the three founders of CCW Safe, personal friends and guys I've known since I was a young man, and that you're talking 30 years. But anyways, CCW Safe, use that link there in the scroll or in the description of this broadcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter X, and get you some coverage. CCW Safe. Jeremy, we've already got some predictions rolling in. Bishop sends one, but I'm going to jump out first. I'm going to go ahead and say Duke stuns the world and upsets number 17 Virginia.
It's going to be an SEC officiating style game where because I think Virginia can still get in if they win the ACC. I mean, they're ranked 16th.
Yeah, the ACC wants that Duke winning.
Yes, the ACC really wants that AQ because that may be the only way you get a team in.
Yeah.
So look for timely holding calls. Look for PIs that are phantom calls. Look for just anything.
Kind of like Dallas had last night.
Yeah.
By the way, is CeeDee Lamb going to be all right? He looked like he got the life taken out of him.
He went into posture, didn't he? Yeah. Man, he hit his head hard on the ground.
That is really scary.
That's bad.
Yeah, I'm Virginia 4.5. That's probably not a bad line. I'm probably going.
Yeah, I just kind of 3.5 on the pick 'em.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Virginia's gonna, and I've been really bad the last few weeks. So the largest of grain of salts, I think Virginia's just going to beat the crap out of Duke, and I think it's going to be one-sided in all ways.
All right, Bishop, FDR's got some predictions. Let's get into them real quick. Indiana 21-18, Bama 24-21. Man, I don't know. Bama looked shaky against Auburn they looked great.
I know.
Nothing.
That's a rivalry game in that haunted house. It is Jordan-Hare Stadium.
Yeah.
it's you don't
Well,
take a lot from that game, just like you don't take a lot from OU Texas.
okay, we'll get into more of that late here in a second. Duke 15-9,
Ooh,
and
ooh, scoregami.
Ben took FDR. It's facts. So, looking at the Big Ten, Jeremy, Ohio State's a 4.5-point favorite against the Indiana Hoosiers. Kudos to Kurt Signetti. What
Best
a
coach in college football.
best coach, possibly top 3 ever. I
He
mean,
wins the Natty. He's right in that conversation,
he
isn't
makes
he?
it to a finals.
I mean,
You don't even have to win it in my
you
book.
go to
You're at
Indiana.
But what I was going to get at is, okay, so Ohio State, it's competitive a little bit early against Michigan. They're on the road, hyped up crowd. Michigan has talent. We know that from seeing them come to Norman. People can question Sharon Moore. There's, coaching is when your team plays great, you're a genius. When your team, falls short, you're an idiot. I think he's somewhere in the middle. I don't think he's the greatest tactician. I don't think he's John Blake either.
He's a good coach, and he's got that OU DNA. But
Exactly. And
yeah,
so,
no one's ever happy with anybody when you're not, beating
and then
your
Ohio
main
State
rival.
gets awarded a touchdown that in essence wasn't, and so
Sure.
I'll say this: the Big Ten is really flexing. I mean, they feel like they've got definitely the 2 preeminent teams at 1 and 2, and this weekend settles it all. Indiana went to Oregon and pretty much dominated at Autzen.
Yeah.
They needed a miracle play to beat Penn State.
Penn State beat Oregon.
Oregon beat Penn State.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They came
Yeah,
back and won late.
I think it was overtime, wasn't it?
Yeah,
But that's what I'm saying is Penn State, that's Oregon's – Penn State and USC are Oregon's best wins. Now, when they faced Penn State, it was pre-fire the coach. They were rolling. They felt like, that this was going to be their season. But, I mean, this is Indiana's schedule, Jeremy. Old Dominion, they won that one by 2 scores. Kennesaw State, 56-9. Indiana State, that's a FCS. They shellac Illinois. That's probably, I don't know. Illinois is not ranked anymore, but they were.
That was a great win at the time.
It was a great win at the time. Then they go to Kinnick and survive Iowa 20-15, which people will tell you that's
a tough spot.
I'm not gonna fault you for winning by a score at Kinnick Stadium. Oregon 30-20, they win by 10. Then they beat Michigan State, shellac UCLA, shellac Maryland, and then survive Penn State. And that was November 8th. What, probably 4 to 5 weeks after they fired Franklin?
Yep.
Then they shellac Wisconsin and Purdue. I mean, if Indiana gets blown out of this, they'll only have 1 loss, but can you say that they're any better than the other 2 lost teams that are vying for a spot?
Probably not.
I mean, I hate to do that to Indiana. I'm for them, but
no, I mean, they benefited from playing the bottom half of the conference.
I mean, they need to
A&M.
Win or lose. It needs. I mean, if they blow out Ohio State, that's great, but they need to be competitive. They can't let that get away from them.
They can. I mean, just from my perception, I think they need to win that by 2 scores. You know what I mean?
State?
Yeah. Oh no,
Sure.
Indiana. Just
Indiana.
Because you always have that. You have that. What do you say? That perception that they got fat on bad teams.
Sure.
And if they handle Ohio State, that's gone. Okay. Hey, the best team that they
you're
played,
the real deal.
They handled their business. Ohio State doesn't have that problem. They beat Texas. They beat a good Michigan team. We've already talked about Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of who else is on their schedule that they beat, but heck, they're 12 and 0.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about two 12-0 teams, and it's hard to argue going undefeated.
Well, heck,
In this day and time,
I think I told you this. If you just click on the hyperlink, their schedule comes up.
I'm not on their picks page.
No, well, I am. And
Okay.
there it is. Okay. So Ohio State, they beat Grambling 70-0. All right. They beat Washington 8-14, 24-6. They beat Minnesota 7-5 team bowl team 42-3.
I mean, if they hadn't got that Michigan win, they don't have another ranked win on there other than Texas.
Yeah, you're right, but they did beat Texas.
Yeah, and they beat Michigan. So
yeah,
and they beat on the road.
But listen to this murderer's row: Wisconsin, Penn State, Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers.
Yeah,
all leading up to the Michigan game.
Yeah. Now I'll say this. I will say this. You know, and this is as much what I had an issue with Sark as anything. You know, stump for your team. But man, when he threw out the fact that they outgained Ohio State in their 14-7 loss, I about spit up my coffee.
Where's the points?
Like, really, dude? You know,
most
of your yards came after Ohio State. What, took a 2-touchdown lead, I think?
Yes, when they they were just sitting back and letting it go.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Georgia, they beat Marshall, they beat Austin Peay, they beat Tennessee. Lost to Alabama, beat Kentucky, beat Auburn,
beat Ole Miss.
That's a good one. That's not just a good win, that's a great win. Mississippi State, say what you want to about Mississippi State. That's a much improved ball club. Not going to a bowl, but they're tough.
Yeah.
They beat the dog crap out of Texas.
Yeah, they boot stomped them.
And we were pretty high on Georgia Tech, and they handled them with their defense.
Yeah.
Held them to 3 field goals.
Yeah, I think Georgia Tech this year, there was a lot of motivation to get them back this year. And
the Haynes King support was strong, especially on this program.
Oh yeah, still is. But no, I think Georgia has to be considered. But here's the thing: that Georgia team that lost to Georgia Tech last season gets in the playoff and got manhandled by Notre Dame.
Yeah, but then you look at Alabama's schedule.
Yeah, I mean the Florida State loss is bad.
Yeah, but then you beat Georgia. You beat Vanderbilt by 2 scores. You beat Missouri by 3 points.
Beat Tennessee.
Beat Tennessee by 17. Beat South Carolina by a touchdown. South Carolina wasn't very good.
That was one where South Carolina had a shot to win it.
Yeah.
I think at the end.
Beat a coachless LSU, who has still won 7 ball games.
I've got a lot of Sunday talent on that squad. I don't care what anybody says.
That defense is legit.
They got a D.
Lost to Oklahoma, and then they beat Auburn.
But see, they outgained Oklahoma, so it's really not a loss.
Yeah, well, there's these things that you have to score to win the game, and it doesn't matter how you get them. If you have more than the other team, you'll win.
They're called points.
Oklahoma was really good at that.
Yeah.
Especially because their defense would just say, you know what, we're done with you. We're taking the ball away.
All right. So exit question on conference championship Saturday. Texas Tech is a 12.5-point favorite over BYU. That's at Jerry World. Word is, Jeremy, that it has been sold out to capacity, maybe the most since a while back. But they are expecting a lot of Mormons that weekend. So I hope their bicycle racks are fully stocked up. No,
you're saying there's going to be a lot of short sleeve white dress shirts and black ties,
white shirts, and a lot of literature. I love Bernie Mac's one of my favorite comedians. He's got a line in Ocean's 13 where he's hawking his casino game. And I think it's Al Pacino says, "Go ahead and send me your literature. And Bernie goes, "I don't need to send you no literature." Every time I think about somebody giving out literature, I think literature. But no, it's one of those situations where, and I've accused Greg Sankey of this, and we'll see if your mark is suspect as well. Do you let the underdog with the loss get the victory in the conference championship game because you would get both of them in then?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think a couple of times it looked like a team outperformed the other team in the SEC championship to get in, and the other team was locked to get in.
Oh yeah.
Now it did work 2 seasons ago, I guess, but whatever.
I mean, I think Texas Tech's gonna win that game. They're not covering the 12.5. It'll be a better game this time.
The thing about Tech, I mean, I'm gonna put this out there, and I hope I don't make you too mad. I think they've got a defense on par with OU.
I mean, you can think that all you want, but it's wrong. But go on.
I think the front seven they have, Jacob Rodriguez, that guy should be a Heisman candidate. He's amazing. That defensive line, I mean, they bring it, and much to the style that we see in Norman. And then I'll say this: if OU had a Baron Morton at quarterback, Bubba, get Katie
Barr. Like if Mateer would have taken weeks off and got healthy like Morton did.
Do what now?
It'd been nice if Mateer would have taken the weeks off to get healthy.
Yeah, if the coach would have had a backup that he trusted, which Tech obviously did. Now, I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings or anything, but I mean, I just kind of call it like I see it. And to me, I think Tech after this weekend, we'll do the weekend big show. We're not going to have, I guess we could do, I'll let you kind of decide it by your schedule. We could look into a college football recap tomorrow night, but really it's only a handful of games to kind of be, rehashing a few things. But what I would love to do is find a time when you have availability and do a selection show recap, because that'll be the most fun.
Let's see. When's the selection show? Sunday?
Yeah, it'll be Sunday afternoon. So
I'll probably be at work till
you probably 10 will that night. But if we could figure something out somewhere along your schedule, I'll have Marty Wandry make it worth your while. Dan Narva checking in from Michigan. Belated Friday greetings. Got waylaid by a major MSU Spartan press conference, which Pat Fitzgerald taking that job in East Lansing. Announcement of major donor funding. TP checking in also off of YouTube. No hurt feelings. The quarterback at OU must play better. No, what I was going to say is I just, having said that, the defense will rise to any occasion. Thank you, TP, for checking in, and thank you, Dan Narva. I'm just going to say this. There are aspects of Texas Tech's game now. If they get into the playoff and falter in the first round or whenever they play, then I would eat my words. If you notice, I'm wearing a Texas Tech hat today in support of a team that we follow that is in a championship weekend. But, I mean, yeah, the loss at ASU was bad, and we brought that up to Ryan Hyatt when we had him on the show. But I mean, they dominated BYU. They went to Manhattan, didn't give them really much of a shot. Pushed Chris Kleiman into retirement. He saw the dawn. But I think this Tech team is constructed and has the parts that I got to say, as an OU fan, I kind of wish we had the same.
Yeah.
I mean, the system that they run, a la, every system that Tech has run, it is. You think I wouldn't trade for that to see that? I mean, because what is our system in Norman? Are we an RPO team? Are we a zone read team?
Well, they need to chuck the RPO into the sun.
No, they don't.
Just go straight air raid.
Yeah.
And maybe, Kip Lewis needs to threaten John Mateer before every drive like he did in the fourth quarter against LSU.
Whatever it takes.
Seemed to work.
Yeah. But I mean, and looking back at that game, they pointed out chunk plays that would have been chunk plays if he if he uses proper mechanics. How is he this far into his college career and still have crappy mechanics?
I think it's a lot of he's working around that thumb or his brain.
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, and the only reason I even bring it up is because you've got a what 11-1 Texas Tech team that nobody questions, you know, even though they're coming out of the Big 12. And if they lose and BYU's an automatic qualifier, there will be detractors.
mm-hmm.
But nobody's questioning Tech. But OU is in essence equally as good a team.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got these, fatheads like Chris Felica out there, and Joel Klatt too.
Yeah, Joel Klatt works for the Big Ten Network.
He does. And he's also fellow kindred AA spirit with Steve Sarkisian. They both look
This kid, this Sark again.
Yeah. But anyways, BYU is a 12.5-point dog to Texas Tech. The over-under is 49.5. I don't know if Tech holds them off the way they did in Lubbock, down in Arlington, then they are somebody you're going to have to look out for.
Yeah, Tech's they are constructed to make a deep run in this playoff, and we'll see. We'll see what the competition is. I look at all their schedules, and all of them have a lot of warts.
Mm-hmm.
Your Big Ten champ, your Big Ten runner-up, with whoever that is, you can look at their schedule and say, yeah, there's a couple nice wins in there, but I don't know. I don't see a string of games against traditional powers, like we just witnessed in November.
Yeah.
And BYU, if they win, if they lose and somehow get in, I don't think they will.
Well, here's the domino that may start. Baron Morton listed as probable.
Oh, Baron Morton's like the rest of us. He's day to day. So he'll play. He's got to play, right? You want to win that game. You don't want to go into the playoff with that data point.
Unless your marks got the fix in. I don't know. TP saying John Mateer's feet were bad before the thumb injury.
It's not so much the feet that bother me. It's the weird arm angles that he'll throw out there on plays he doesn't need to have weird arm angles on.
I thought that watching him in the warm-ups on TV,
slinging
Michigan,
trying to layer a ball over a linebacker, throwing it sidearm it's kind of tough.
It is. Well, it'll be an interesting Saturday, and we will see what happens. Marty Wandry checks in with you on the sidearm bit. I don't know. It just if Tech goes out and does what I think they're capable of doing, then people better look out for them in the playoff. But that's really not anything groundbreaking. So
it's just watching the not top 10 and Young Hoku fatten that kick. It just makes me giggle every time.
Do you hear him say that the ball was moving?
I did see I saw a close up of that.
Like I'm sitting there watching it, the ball was held perfectly.
No. When he brought it down, the ball slipped out of the holder's hand, but it went right into the slot.
Yeah.
But he saw it, and I guess his brain just misfired. And
just Steve Jackson Dart's reaction on the sideline.
Yeah.
Wonder what hey, kudos to Eli Manning. I watched the Manning cast Monday night for a bit, and it becomes a lot as you go along. I think I watched a good chunk of the segment with Danny DeVito, and then had some attractive lady on there later. I don't know, Midge something or something. Didn't care what she had to say, but kudos to Eli for getting on social media.
Oops.
on the car that tried to run Lane Kiffin off the road.
Yeah, I think we need an updated Kiffin's Crimson Corner. I don't know what Daniel Tosh is doing these days.
Yeah, what is that guy doing?
He needs to bring it back just for now. We need it. Return of the King.
Exactly. Let's see here. I've got to figure out why.
Kudos to Eli Drinkwitz,
Yeah,
who
been noticeably
had
quiet.
Gummit. No, no, not that.
What?
He called in Dari Noka's show here in Norman yesterday
Oh, really?
to rip Dari about his SEC power rankings picks. It was great. I I can't help the fact that I'm starting to really like Fat Andy Bernard. He
Yeah, that's an
seems like
issue.
a he's just a weird dude, but he can get away with it because he's doing a good job at Missouri.
He can rock some cargo shorts,
Yeah,
which I
I
do
mean,
too.
just stuff like that. I'm like, man, that's cool. It
Hey,
just
if you can be as eccentric and goofy and in essence cocky as you want, if I get the sense that you don't take yourself too seriously,
yeah. I
I'm
mean,
for you. I'm
he
down
own
with that.
and he owns it. So
That's what I
it's like,
mean.
oh, just all right, man. You be you. I
All
can
right.
live with it.
Well, if he's calling in the Dari show, then he's a sport.
I mean, just yeah, like Eli from Missouri called in. Like
Oh my
what?
gosh, that's funny. And that's the problem with Kiffin is you realize he's the adult coach version of that cartoon character Caillou. You ever
I
heard of
don't
that?
know.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna send you a video on Instagram later. You need to check it.
Kiffin's just a d-bag.
So
I thought
apparently,
he had turned a corner.
no,
No.
he's who he is, and
Yeah.
there's that old saying about the scorpion that caught a ride across the river with the frog, and the
Still stung the
frogs,
frog.
yeah, said, "You've stung me. Now we're both going to die. Why'd you do that?" I'm a scorpion. That's what I do. Long story short. Well, it's going to be interesting and a lot of good stuff. Hey, you're Oklahoma City Thunder, man. Golly. Got J-Dub back and he's filling in well. I guess now, what do you do with Luke with AJ Mitchell in a way, but it's a lot of points coming on. That's a lot of offense coming off the bench. They're 21-1, Jeremy, and they
I'm
take
aware of
on the
that.
Mavs tonight.
Yep. It's been a great start to the season. There's a lot of hyperbole going around. I'm just one game at a time.
Yeah.
See how the season shakes out.
Well,
I ain't saying it.
luckily for the Thunder, PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford are game time decisions. It's Friday night. They may take it off.
Yeah, just go ahead and take that off.
Yeah.
You can't get to 80 wins without some layups, right?
No. My Spurs are 15-6 on the season. They've won 2 in a row. Man, it's tough. It's tough not getting a lot of Spurs games to choose from up this way. It really makes it tough. But
yeah.
So
where's Giannis going to end up?
The pencil neck yesterday was talking about Oklahoma City bundling Chet and
Why would they?
a role player and a bunch of draft picks to go get him. I can't see Presti ever doing that.
I can't see Presti doing that either. Just because you've got it going on right now, you just want. I could have seen it last year.
The Presti, and I know you'd have to make amendments down the road, but the Presti mode would be just give them half the picks that you have and maybe a Case and Wallace or somebody, and then I don't see him parting with Chet.
No,
you're talking about a 7-footer that has an outside game, and
I don't see him. I don't see that even being a thought, just because. Hey, Randy, thanks for joining us this morning. Great
Randy,
to have you on.
why is your Twitter handle, your YouTube handle, Paul? Should it be Randy Meyer?
I don't know, maybe.
Hey, but I'm on a Dell computer too. I hope yours is a little more upgraded than mine. Thank you so much, Randy, for checking in. We appreciate folks checking in on the YouTube page, and we hope you like what you hear, and we love to have you interact. That's the whole key of doing this live broadcast. Jeremy, I take the live broadcast and I record it, and that's what we put up for our content. But I do like it way better than just you and I recording and releasing it later. I know that's how most podcasts are done, but I like what we do. It harkens itself back to the old sports radio.
Sure.
Speaking of sports radio, ESPN2, I think, has started playing Clinton. What's the guy? His guy on ESPN radio in the mornings. Last name's Clinton. I can't remember his first name. I watched a bit of it yesterday. It's a kind of a refreshing alternative because he talks and takes calls, and he claimed that Kiffin. He claimed that if Auburn had pulled the upset, Kiffin would have held off.
Yeah.
And if DeBoer would have got the hook after the Auburn loss, Kiffin would have been Tuscaloosa bound.
I could see that. I could see if DeBoer somehow goes to Penn State, that Kiffin could be like, yeah, my time here in Baton Rouge has been great, but Mama's calling, got to go home.
Marty Wandry says, why change anything when you're going 78-4? Yep. And here's another thing. Chet Holmgren is your counter to facing Wemby in the playoffs for the next 7 years.
And, Giannis is 31 years old. This big three is locked up long term. Yeah, they've got role players on good contracts.
You're not going to trade youth. I don't care what it brings to the table.
Right. You got a ton of draft capital. You've already won one.
Let LA mortgage their future for bringing him in.
They're not in any dire. They're not going to go into the second apron. So, they're not going to do that. J-Dub is disqualified from the All-Star game this year just because he's missed too many games.
Yeah.
Chet didn't get the bump because he didn't make an All-NBA team, but he got his big contract. So they are looking really good right now.
Yeah.
They've got guys on good deals. They're probably going to lose Hartenstein. They'll just, after next year, they'll just, plug the Sorber kid in there when he gets healthy. It's a well-constructed roster. It's built for a long haul. Don't mess with it.
Yeah. TP says, when you check Lane Kitten's history, you cannot be surprised by his actions. No, he's
not at all.
Creature of repetition.
Yes. It's like, hey, he quit drinking. He's doing yoga. He's got a dog.
He's got a few of those Tito shooters that you can find at Clinton Liquor stuck back in his back pocket. I can promise you.
Oh, he could end up in Austin.
I was going to say this. Speaking of, your cuñado threw out that Tito's donates $20 million to the Texas Athletic. I think that's been going on for a while.
This is known.
I'm not trying to bag on Lenny, but I boycotted Tito's 5 years ago for that, I think.
Marty's just trying to get rid of inventory by throwing him the shooters last week.
Dude, do it. I mean, tell Tito to go to hell. Dan Narva, sorry if you've discussed this, but I like Gruden's idea of having the teams not playing for conference championships also play to help settle the arguments of who belongs and who doesn't. I think he had OU and Horns playing again with Mateer now healthy up in Minneapolis. Hey, if I'm OU, I'm not walking into a matchup with Texas being afraid.
No,
not at all.
Not at all. You were,
I would worry if OU had to go to DKR. That would be tough. Now, Tuscaloosa was tough, but DKR,
the shadow of the giant uterus,
big uterus out there. All right, tonight I like Jacksonville State to upset Kennesaw. I like James Madison to be all over Troy. I like Dan Mullen to get the win over Boise, and I like Tulane over North Texas.
I don't remember my picks. I got to pull them back up because I had to.
I don't even know if those are my picks. That's just what I'm looking at now.
I was Googling Paul Meyer if there was some sort of context. I got JMU, Jacksonville State, Tulane, Boise. I can't pick Dan Mullen anymore.
Yeah, you're right. Dan's let me down. All right, so Texas Tech, I like them to win tomorrow against BYU, even though the conspiracy theory side of me believes that Yormark could have a fix in to get two teams in.
It's going to be someone's going to have a heel turn because they're thick with the WWE. So
they're,
hey, why not?
Yeah. All right. Well, let's start making our way out of here, Jeremy. Anything else significant this week that caught your eye? Like we mentioned, Pat Fitzgerald taking over in East Lansing. he had some rough years at Northwestern that kind of bank against him, but man, it's Northwestern.
It is Northwestern. It's a tough spot.
He had him in some high
academic standards.
He had him in some high spots as well. So
sure, I mean, he's a good football coach. Whatever happened there or didn't happen there, he's exonerated. Let him roll.
Oh, signing day.
Yeah,
Bo Bentley, and the Cruel Kid.
Yeah, Jake Krell and the Pettit
5 stars.
The Pettit kid that was a late decommit from Penn State signed. So
yeah.
And then you have Chris Henry Jr. that hadn't signed yet. He's going to sign at 12-10, probably with Oregon or Texas.
Matt Leinert's boy goes to SMU.
Really? Cool.
Yep. And I posed a question on Twitter to Matt, what's his NIL package in Dallas compared to what yours was in Compton?
Probably not as much.
All right, last comment of the program. MSU seems pumped for Fitz. His hiring was tied to this money infusion. AD J-Bat working overtime. Hey, ADs and general managers, 'tis the season. Hope you enjoyed seeing your families in the summer because you get
that's right.
All right,
about to start.
That's right. Let's get on out of here. He's Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airways, and you can find him on Twitter at Jeremy Schroeder. Or no, Doc, what is your handle? I forget.
Why are you asking me these hard questions? Let's see. It is at Jeremy_Schroeder.
Okay. Your Instagram handle, we won't put it out there, but it's something to do with Anchorman, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So Jeremy is on Twitter. He shares a lot of stuff with us also. We appreciate everyone who jumped in and commented on today's show, and TP and Randy and Bishop FDR and Marty Wandry and Dan Narva. We appreciate everybody jumping in and the comments. Cameron Hall. Thank you guys as well. And we appreciate everybody jumping in. The comments are what makes it fun. We love going along with that. And hope you don't mind these two random dudes talking to the internet.
Never going to let it go.
Have a great weekend, bud. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And also, please, please, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Law Dog Sports. We'll talk to you next week. I say we'll talk to you next week. Keep notifications going on the social media, because if we do some sort of selection recap show, we'll let you know. Be safe out there.